Thank you, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it has exploded. Kumeharibika, ni kubaya. Oscar Kipchumba Sudi ameitisha mkutano, tunasema press conference, na yale ambayo anazungumzia ni kuhusu the state of the nation. Na kile ambacho tunamfanya mpaka anaita mkutano ni kuhusu ile by election ya Kalou. Oscar Sudi has been criticizing Rigathi Gachagua for the longest time. He has been talking bad and ill about Rigathi Gachagua. Now he is welcoming Rigathi Gachagua to work with President William Samoei Ruto. That is what the reason why the Kapseret Member of Parliament, Oscar Sudi, has called for a press briefing and is actually addressing the nation on the national matters, on leadership issues, and also is trying to advise the president to shift his ambitions or his expectations from the Mount Kenya. He's saying Mount Kenya will no longer help Ruto. Please, I beg for your subscription as we continue. So, the Kapseret lawmaker, that is Oscar Sudi, has called for a press briefing. Actually, he's saying a press conference, State of the Nation address. And the venue is at Kapseret constituency. He's also saying the State of our Nation address should be at exactly 3 p.m. in the evening. And what is he going to address? I've told you the most important thing he's going to address is about the recently concluded Kalou by-elections and also the shift from Mount Kenya to Ruto, the people, the rejection of Ruto in the Mount Kenya region, and also people behind the failure of Muchina, that is the UDA candidate in the recently concluded Kalou by-elections. So there is 1 to 3 things I want us to check on. Kuna vitu ambazo ningependa to tackle and to check on about Oscar Sudi. Actually, Oscar Sudi is advising the president to shift his ambitions or expectations from the mountain. He's saying he better concentrate on another region, another place where he can get funds apart from the Mount Kenya region. Why is he saying so? There is his explanation. He's saying, let me read his message. He wrote on the 17th, that is on 17th of July 2026, that is yesterday. There is something he wrote here, and I want us all to get it. So he's saying, let's all calm down and stop making wild proclamation like Gachagua, who just said he will mobilize Molima 7 million votes against Ruto in 2027. And is asking, 7 million from where? That is a question of Oscar Sudi. He continued by saying, last time I checked Molima, total votes cast in 2022 for both Raila and Ruto was 3.8 million votes. I have included all the votes in cosmopolitan counties like Nakuru, Laikipia, and Kiambu. The counterbalance the Nairobi votes, which are give or take 500k votes, cast is 67% of the approximate of 800,000 Nairobi Molima voters. He continued by saying, post 2022, IBC has registered 527,000 new votes in Molima counties. So long as arithmetic simplified, there is no universe where Gachagua gives any more above 4 million votes. Even assuming they vote 100% for his preferred presidential candidate ticket. Maths don't lie. Wamnyoros do jakwamo. He continued by saying, one of the tricks Wamnyoro normally uses to show up their numbers and create an artificial tuko-wengi perception is the usual compare their registered votes total versus other regions' votes. He continued by saying, it's not uncommon to hear them say, sisi tuko na kura milioni 7 na nyinyi hamna kura. Mlipigia Raila kura, blah, 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 blah. That is the message of Oscar Sudi. He continued by saying, the trick won't work anymore. We now compare registered and cast versus cast. Wow, bro. That is the message of Kipchumba Murkomen. So what is he saying? Actually, he's saying Ruto should not focus in Mount Kenya. He should focus on another region to compensate the Mount Kenya foods. And that is the question I've been asking you ever since. Which other region can someone concentrate and forget about the mountain? Make sure you subscribe as we grow as a family.